going to be a little bit higher level, meaning like 30,000 foot view. The main thing we're going to talk about today is why do I like RV parks? What are the main reasons you should like RV parks as well? And then we're going to talk about the 10 places you can find RV parks and what you are going to need in your journey of getting started. Who can you be? Meaning, what if you're brand new? What if you have no experience in RV parks? Where should you start? What if you're somebody who already has capital to deploy? Where should you start? Everybody's going to have a little bit different of a reality, and we'll talk about that as well today. So as we do that, I want to lay out what the next 4 days will look like, what guests we have coming in, so you guys have a clear expectation of what days you should show up to. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can still hear me on this microphone. I have not used this microphone in like 5 months. Give me a thumbs up. Cool. Awesome. I'm going to keep the side chat on pause while I go over to the big whiteboard, and we're going to talk about what you should expect for this entire 4-day training. All right. So the RV There Yet Challenge, kind of a funny little thing. What we will be doing is today is Monday. Yesterday, we spent 5.5 hours talking about creative finance. Okay, so this was Sunday. If you guys need that replay, it is in the side chat. Carly has put it in there. 5.5 hours of creative finance training. A lot of people loving on it, gushing about it, talking about how it is one of the most impactful things they've learned. So go and watch that 5.5 hours if you need it. Okay, a lot of people will. You will need this in your journey. Gave this as a bonus day, and you will get the replay, 5.5 hours. It is incredible. Every minute is great. And for those of you guys watching the replay, you can watch it in 2x speed. So you can only, take it 2.5 hours. All right. So today we got Monday, we got Tuesday, we got Wednesday, we got all these days that we're going to be working together. And I want to give you guys what to expect, who's showing up, what I want to bring to the table to help you out in your journey, and what you should have, okay? What you should have by the time we're all the way done, okay? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then finally Thursday. Okay, so today, Monday, we're going to talk about why RV parks. We're going to find out where can I find them and where should you as an individual start. We're going to cover those 3 things today. Now, we will have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, okay? Tuesday, same time, so this would be the exact same Zoom link you currently have, starting at the exact same time, but we're going to go instead today 2.5 hours. Tomorrow, we're probably going to go about 3 to maybe even 3.5 hours, a little bit longer. And the reason being is because I have my controller showing up tomorrow. Now, what is a controller? A controller is somebody who runs the finances for my company. Okay, her name is Madison. And Madison will be coming in and talking about numbers on parks we own. Okay, a lot of what we're going to talk about is how to make so much money in RV parks. The problem is it seems so good to be true that I want to make sure Madison comes in. She is on my payroll. She's on my team. You cannot hire her. Before we get there, I know a lot of people are like, how do I hire Madison? She works for me full time. And we'll break down some more recent parks I've just bought, and we will break down parks I've owned for a couple of years. We will also break down some parks we're in the process of buying. I also have Heather from my acquisition team coming in tomorrow, and we are going to underwrite and break down the numbers. Okay, underwrite means breaking down the numbers and making sure it's a good deal on a park that we are closing. I believe we're closing on that deal like February 16th or something. And this deal is in Montana. Okay, we will break that down for you guys, show you guys how to underwrite, and we will give you a spreadsheet for that tomorrow. So the gift for tomorrow will be the underwriting spreadsheet. I wonder if Madison can come in and give us a gift. I'll ask her if she can give us a gift on like how to plunk in numbers and verify profitability. We'll give you guys some really good gifts from our team. Okay. And then what we'll do is I have on Wednesday, I have my RV park manager. Sorry guys, I keep changing my pencils over here. I apologize. My RV park manager, her name is Heidi. We're going to bring Heidi in tomorrow, and Heidi is going to talk about how to manage an RV park, what makes a good RV park, how to amplify revenue, what are some things that we do well, so what are some of the lessons that we've learned. Just this last week, we bought a park in Tennessee. And that park in Tennessee, we already have a dead body on the property that we had to handle in the first week. We had to evict a monkey. I wish I was lying. I'm not. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about RV park management. And then I'm going to show you guys on Wednesday how to set appointments to look at and buy RV parks. And then what I'll do on Thursday is I will actually have 1 to 3 conversations with brokers about RV parks, showing you guys what the next steps are and how to essentially set appointments for other people. Okay. I think a lot of people in here are going to be like, I want to get started, but I'm too fearful. We'll talk about that again today on how to get started. And once I show you guys how to do this, I will give you guys a list of 5,000 RV parks in the United States. Yes, guys, you can do this in Canada. You can do this from anywhere all over the world. Yes, 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 you can. Okay, so we will have 1 to 3 conversations here, and then we will show you guys on Thursday how to get your first deal in 1 week or less. Okay, that will be the main focal point of Thursday. Gift here. I will ask Heidi if she can come up with a gift that we can give you guys, like a management sheet, a checklist, job descriptions for people that work on our parks. We are currently actively hiring for more positions. So maybe she can do that for you guys. I will show you guys how to set appointments with brokers. So we'll come up with 1, 2, 3, 4 gifts, freebies for people, and help you out along the way. All right, we'll help you out along the way. Make sure you guys have what you need. I'm going to open up the side chat for just a second. If I showed you why RV parks, I showed you where to find them. I showed you where should you as an individual start today. If I showed you how to look at the financials, how to underwrite an RV park, then on Wednesday, I showed you how to manage them if you decided to own one instead of wholesaling one. And then I showed you how to set appointments to talk to brokers and what that conversation looks like. And then on Thursday, I actually had those conversations for you with real life brokers that I still have not set appointments for. And we then showed you guys how to get your first deal in a week or less. Would that scratch most everybody's itch on RV parks? Can I get a yes, a no? Now, this is not meant to be a full-on course, okay? This is like learning a new language. There's a lot of things I'm going to say today through Thursday are words that you've never heard before, okay? And there are also, if you guys want me to talk about like LLCs and all of that kind of stuff, I will make sure that you guys have a little bit of that as well tomorrow. Julian says, I'm interested in the job you're hiring for. If you don't have RV park experience, I can tell you it ain't going to be happening, okay? Can you speak about building a park on my own land? Yes, I actually have a SubTo student that crushes it on RV park development. If you guys want me to bring him in, I could do that. But remember, we have limited time, and this is not meant to be a course. This is meant to be just kind of a good jump start, if you will, okay? Does everybody like the lay of the land? Okay. Everybody like the lay of the land? You feel like this would be a great use of your time to spend 4 days with me. And if you guys are sitting here going, man, I wish I knew more about creative finance. Yesterday, I did a 5.5 hour class on creative finance. And if you want that, I'm going to pause the side chat. You guys, Carly will put that back in the side chat for you guys so that you guys can go and do that. Scott Barber says, where do I find buyers for the RV parks? Cool. Let's talk about that for a second. And I'll tell you what day we're going to talk about that. Okay. We will talk about that on Thursday. I will actually talk about how I can pair you up with buyers, because what will happen is if you are cold calling buyers, you're going to be afraid of talking to these buyers. You're going to be afraid. So if you're cold calling, I'd rather you not cold call. I'd rather just pair you up with buyers and get you locked in and ready to go. All right, cool. We have the lay of the land. Take a screenshot of this. I will be 90% accurate on this. There might be some things I add. There might be some things I pivot and take away. I definitely will do Q&A every day. And so the Q&A is going to happen usually down here in the end every day. We'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end every single day. And the purpose of this 4 days is actually what I would call a warm-up, okay? I would call this a warm-up. Now, if you are not in my private community, I want to let you know that this is a warm-up. This is an awesome warm-up. And what is that warm-up for? That warm-up is for when me plus my team, which you guys will meet some of them, me and some of my team members will go into my office in Phoenix, Arizona, and we will work RV park deals live, and we will help SubTo members get their first deal. Okay. So if you guys are in SubTo, please email support. I want to make sure you guys are in the office. I have helped about 800 people get an RV park in the last 5 years. If you guys are newer to SubTo, please email support@subto.com. Let's get you into the office. We do this really cool, fun 1 week experience where I just do the deals with you and I make your life super easy. We give you guys the buyers. We pair you up with the right resources. So if you guys are already in SubTo, this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are a big warm up for the in-person in my office. I want to make sure I get a lot of the basics out of the way so that when you get into my office, we're not spending a lot of time talking about the basics, and we spend most of the time just getting you an RV park to either A, wholesale, or B, keep, or C, get you as a partner with me on a deal. Does everybody understand that these 4 days are a warm-up for a much larger project that I'm working on? Can I get the word warm-up or a yes in the side chat? I want to make sure this is very clear. Okay, cool. So if you are already in SubTo, please remember that we only have a limited amount of spots. These spots go really fast, but if you are in SubTo, coming to my office is completely free. I want to spend my time with you. 1 week a month, I do deals with people live inside of our community. This 4-day training, you will see that there are people not inside of our private community, okay, in the side chat. We have 1,700 people here, plus probably 300 people on YouTube. So 2,000 people will be watching this week live. If you are not in our private community, please understand that this is a warm-up and it's going to be a lot of basic information to help fill in some gaps. And there are going to be some pretty obvious problems you're going to run into at the end. Some of the problems you're going to say, hey, who do I partner with? Who do I sell these deals to? Where does the money come from? I'll talk to you guys about that a lot on Thursday, okay? But how many people are not in our community and are going to be super grateful for this nice warm-up of basic RV park information? I shouldn't say basic. I'd say like intermediary, because I am going to call brokers. I am going to show you where the deals come from. I am going to do live business rather than just a bunch of theory. You guys know me really, really well. I love calling people. I love talking to people. I love structuring deals and actually buying deals. Right now, I have 7 RV parks under contract. 4 of those are with students. 3 of those are just me and my team. Okay, cool. Give me a yes. You guys are all on the same page, because I'm going to jump on to rules over the next 4 years or 4 days. I've told you guys what to expect, what this is, what you should walk away with, who are the guests, what days we're going to be here, what times you should be showing up, what links you should be using. All of those things are very, 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 very clear. Okay, awesome. So now what I want to do is I want to give you guys a couple of rules. Okay, here are some rules, and I have a hard time with these myself, to be honest. I love the side chat. I love the side chat. I love getting to know people. If you've ever been around me, I memorize people's names very easily, and I remember every little detail about people. And the reason being is part of it is because I end up doing, I end up meeting them in the side chat, and then we talk 2 days later, and then they come to my office for a week and we become friends, and I do deals with them for life. Okay. And a lot of those relationships start in the side chat. So I like the side chat. I like the side chat. I like the side chat. Let me give you guys the rules of this 4-day warm up. Okay. Here are the rules. Rule number 1. Let's make this blue. No, let's make this red, because you need to know how serious I am. I'm dead serious about these rules. Okay, rule number 1. Do not promote. If you are inside of our private community, you absolutely can promote yourself in our Zooms, because you are in a vetted environment. And if you do something wrong, I can kick you out. Okay, and so this is a private environment over here in SubTo. We are not in SubTo today, guys. The people that are in this Zoom with us are people from the free Facebook group. We've got people off of YouTube today. We've got just my general audience, okay? these people, I do not want you promoting to them, or I do not want them promoting to you. This is an environment of just giving awesome free information. I don't want any promoting in here. I don't want people putting their links in here, talking about their deals. That is for our private Zooms. For those of you guys that are in SubTo, in the private community, you know that every day I do a 3-hour Zoom. Not every day, 4 times a week, sometimes 7 times a week, depending on my travel schedule, but I do about 20 hours a week, just me, of Zooms in the private community. Those are the Zooms you should be promoting yourself, promoting your deals, etc. That is not what we're going to be doing in the next 4 days. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, please do not promote in the side chat. Otherwise, my friend Carly, okay, she's blonde, so I'm going to make her yellow. Carly is in the back. Okay, she's in the backstage, and if she sees you promoting, she will ask no questions and give no second chances. She will kick you out. And I'm going to tell you guys for just about 1 minute why that's so important. Okay, it is really hard to attract an audience of 3,000, 2,000 people to a free training like this. It's very, very hard. It takes 10 years of building a brand that's trustworthy and repeatedly doing what you say you're going to do over and over and over and over, and helping thousands of people along the way. About 4 years ago, I did one of these free warm-up Zooms, right? A Zoom where 4 days in a row, everybody in the world was welcome to this Zoom. Somebody outside of our community posted a link in the side chat, and that link was to one of their lenders. Well, that lender link ended up costing that girl $15,000, and she lost $15,000. It was basically a scam. And I have had to crack down. I gave that girl 15 grand. She was a single mom. She had just retired from being a nurse, from being in my private community. She had just done a bunch of deals, and she quits her job as being a nurse. She finally puts money together. She clicks on this link because she thinks it's trustworthy. She goes over and works with these people. These people say, we're a lender. We will lend money to you on your next project. Wire us 15 grand to start the loan process. Wires 15 grand to them. They delete the bank account, or they delete the website. They delete their emails, and they ghost her. And people do this all the time. Okay. Can we agree that there are so many scams around all the time? Can we agree? In fact, I got one yesterday. I think I showed you guys. It was an IRS thing. Somebody sent me, no, FBI. It was FBI. Let me pull this up. This is too good. The FBI wrote me an email, guys. It was crazy. I deleted it, I think. Dang it. Yeah, I deleted it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I put it in my trash. Okay, so check this out. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. You always have people trying to scam you. So here's an email I just got a couple of days ago. And you can look on the email, see that it is a fresh one. It's the FBI, guys. It's the FBI government mailbox. Okay. Yesterday, 9:54 a.m. We are informing you, Pace, no period. We got several cases about you, no period. It's okay. We want you to be fine. We changed to drop the cases since this is just minor cases. We are pardoning you for security clearance of $25,000. You should always stay out of trouble. Okay, this is a pretty obvious one, right? Like, that's a pretty obvious scam. We can just delete that and move on. That's a really obvious one. But what happens is when people are promoting in a Zoom where I'm doing a side chat and it's open and I'm asking questions and I'm trying to interact with the audience, if you guys put a link in the side chat, if you guys put, I don't care what it is, a Blink link, a YouTube link, I do not care what the link is, my team will boot you from ever being able to be in a webinar with me ever again. Can I get 1,700 yeses that you understand that rule? Can I get 1,800 yeses? We actually, okay, 2,100 people combined watching this. Can I get 2,100 yeses, please? And do we understand why the rule exists? Okay, very cool. Now, here's another rule that a lot of people are not going to like before I get started in about 6 minutes. Okay, one of the rules that people will not like, they're going to hate this. Some people will love this because they've been on my trainings before and they really don't love when people do this. But here is rule number 2. Rule number 2, okay, is do not ask questions If you show up late, I have a thing about me that it drives me wild when somebody asks a question I just answered an hour ago, not because I don't want to answer it. It's actually because I want to answer it. And in my mind, I start going, wait, I didn't do a good job explaining that. They're asking again. You will be on my trainings and you will see that people will show up 45 minutes late, miss the very beginning. You also know that today, probably in the first time in 2 years, I've laid out rules. I never lay out rules. I never take 25 minutes to get started. I just want to make sure for the next 4 days, we are very clear on our objective here so I can get started and we don't have to cover these rules again. And I just can feel good that I covered the rules, okay? I have not done this in 2 years. And so you will see people repeatedly show up an hour and a half or 2 hours into a Zoom and go, but what about such and such? And everybody's like, Sam, Pace talked about that 2 hours ago for 20 minutes straight with a whiteboard session. And it'll stress me out. It'll make me want to go backwards and go, okay, I guess I didn't cover it. And I go back and I cover that thing for 30 minutes. And then somebody comes back and goes, that guy showed up 2 hours late. Why did you ask his question? So if you show up late the next 3 days, that's perfectly cool. Just refrain from asking questions. You got to assume that we probably already covered it, okay? Or go back and watch the replay, okay? That is rule number 3. Please don't ask if there's a replay. There will be. We'll send it out to you guys via email. You won't watch it. It's just like creating a bookmark on Instagram or a bookmark on X. You won't watch it. This is live. I am absolutely live. Today is Monday, February 9th, 1:27 p.m. in Arizona. That's Mountain Standard Time. So for you, if you're West Coast, that's 12:30. If you're middle of the country, that's 2:30. And if you're on the East Coast, that's 3:30. I'm live. I am absolutely live. The chances of you learning a lot more and changing your life over the next 4 years or 4 days is so much higher than if you just watch it live. But there is a replay. Please don't ask if there's a replay. I promise you there's a replay. Okay. Awesome. Now, if you have a question and you are in the community, meaning you are in SubTo, I want to go through something just real quick. This is the final rule that I'm going to cover. This is a big one because I get a lot of newer students that just joined our community and they got a lot of questions. And I want to let you guys know this is our newest calendar that just came out in January. Let me pull it up real quick and highlight this for you guys. And yes, I drew this by hand in my RV with markers. And so it does look phenomenal. But you look at this as a week, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, we don't do Zooms in our community. We honor the Lord's Day on Sunday. Sometimes I'll do a special Zoom, like yesterday I did a 5.5-hour Zoom. I'm not opposed to doing things on Sunday. I just want to do them as bonuses. But every single day in our community, we have an average of 8 Zooms totaling nearly 14 hours of Zooms every single day. The topics are different. The instructors are different. This is a weekly calendar. This is not something that you lose in a week or you don't have access to in a year. So if you look at this, look at the very top, the light yellow or the neon green and the dark green, like forest green, those are us getting together and role playing and working through scripts and calling each other sellers and helping each other out. You can see all kind of the topics. 9 a.m., we show you guys how to generate leads every day. I don't like teaching in our private community. I like showing. So Monday through Friday in the kind of orange clementine color, you see leads at the very top. DTS stands for direct to seller. Direct to agent is Tuesday. Letter of intent is on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday are paid type of leads when you have a little bit of a budget. If you need help with systems like your CRM, okay, that would be Monday. Then systems for follow-up, another CRM, transaction coordination help, CRM, transaction coordination help. That is middle of the day. I need help. Will somebody help me out with my systems and my computer? Okay, that is every day. Then 1 p.m. special Zooms. We talk about bookkeeping, corporate structure, LLCs, legal stuff. Hey, I just need general help. Hey, Pace, I'm stuck on Friday. And then on Saturday, you can see the purple one is connections. Then finally, this one's really, really important. If you are in SubTo, look at all these underwriting Zooms you get. Every single day, somebody's underwriting RV parks and mobile home parks, multifamily, single family, special, that would be like co-living, Section 8, those types of things. And then Saturday, we have all types of underwriting. Then in the afternoon, you see these orange tabs. Okay, these are Pace. I need somebody to call a seller for me. Where do I go if I'm in SubTo? How do I get help with that? That would be 5 p.m., 3 days a week. You can just go in and there's master closers inside the community willing to close those deals for you, partner with you, joint venture with you, etc. Why do I need to cover that? I cover that because in the last week or two, there's brand new SubTo members that just joined, and they're thinking that the next 4 days is actually our SubTo community. They're like not aware that this is a free 4-day warm-up. You are in the SubTo community. Please email support@subto.com to make sure you get access to that calendar, and you can pick and choose what Zooms you need to go into to get that exceptional layer of help. 39 Zooms a week for the rest of your life, I give to you as a bonus with no investment whatsoever, monthly, yearly, etc. I want to do deals with you, and so I give you an abundance of resources. If you are newer in SubTo, was that helpful for you? Say yes in the side chat so people know I did not waste my time talking about that. If you are newer in SubTo, do you recognize that the Zoom today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are all a big warm-up for a much larger in-person challenge we are doing in our office? Okay. And if I need additional help, I know I can go to support@subto.com and go, I need help in those things. Okay, cool. There is not one resource you will ever need. There will never be a resource you need that I do not give you, support you in, etc. if you are in SubTo. Okay? Awesome. Let's get this party started. You guys ready to get this freaking party started or what? Awesome. By the way, if somebody says, where do I send a lead if I have an opportunity? Jordan Wilson says screen is small. The screen is definitely not small. You are on your phone. You need to turn it sideways, my friend. We've covered that about 1,000 times. That should be rule number 4, which is learn how to use Zoom. Okay, that's rule number 4. Let's talk about, just for one more minute, how you guys can work with my team on RV parks, because this is going to come up over and over and over and over and over. Let's cover this right now. All right. So let's make this another rule today. Okay. All right. So we remember rule number 1 and rule number 2. They're right here. Rule number 1 is do not promote. Rule number 2 is do not ask questions if you show up late. I'm okay with questions, just don't do it after you show up late. Rule number 3 is if you are in the private community, please know that this is not a private training. This is not the community. This is a free training I'm doing for the next 4 days. Yesterday I did 5.5 hours of training. Carly, please give that replay one more time in the side chat for everybody, if you don't mind. I did 5.5 hours of creative finance training, just absolutely for free. So if you are not in our private community, that is all free. I just did that yesterday, fresh. And you can go to the other resources that I just highlighted on that map. Now, rule number 4. Here's a big one. Okay, rule number 4. I'll make it big, big, big. I will not do a deal with you if you are outside of our community. But you can find my students, my SubTo students, you can find them in our free Facebook group. Okay, that Facebook group is called Creative Finance with Pace Morby. Creative Finance with Pace Morby. Okay, you can go and find that. Carly will put a link in the side chat for you guys to go in there and try and find students in that free Facebook group. Just so you know, when you are working in a free Facebook group, I do not vet people that join the free Facebook group. These are people, anybody can join it as long as they give us an email. So be very careful and make sure that if somebody says they are one of my students, email support@subto.com and ask, is this person truly inside of SubTo? And are they one of Pace's students? They will have the right paperwork, the right training, the right etiquette, and you want to make sure that they are who they say they are. Sadly, in free Facebook groups, a lot of people lie, mine included, sadly. Okay. Now, if you are inside of the community, I would love to do deals with you. How do you do that? Well, if you have a car wash, I want you to email Ryan I will put Ryan's email inside of the private SubTo Facebook group today. If you have a RV park or a mobile home park, I want you to email Heather at pacemorby.com. Now, if you have an RV park that you need me to call on and you need me to close it for you, you can, I know this is weird, but I have a big team. You can email Victoria M at SubTo.com and she will set us up to try and make a call for you during this next 4-day challenge if time permits. And if time does not permit, I will do it in one of our private Zoom sessions, okay? And if you are in the private community and you need help underwriting, well, I already gave you that resource by showing you guys that calendar, okay? Can I get a yes that everybody understands all of the rules? So when people are in the side chat saying, but I have a deal, I have a lead, I have a thing, I've already told you where to go. I want to stay on topic this week, okay? I want to stay super, super on topic. All right, perfect. Let's jump into it. I want to talk about RV parks, and I want to talk about the 3 things I promised you guys when we first started today. Let me change my microphone real quick. Is this recorded or live? I can't tell. Stand dish. You remember that one rule I said of like, if you show up late, please don't ask questions? You see what happens, guys? Like people show up in 30 minutes late and they go, is this late? Or is this live? Yes, Stan, we've covered that like 5 times. Cool, let's get started. So for those of you guys that are just joining us, we are going to be with you guys for the next 4 days. Please go back and watch the first 37 minutes of this, plus the 5.5 hours I did yesterday, all in creative finance. Carly will put that link to the replay in the side chat. Now, let's talk about why RV parks. I've been in real estate for a little over 12 years. I've done everything you can imagine. I've done self-storage facilities, assisted living, sober living. I've done mental health properties, buildings. I've done commercial. I've done thousands of flips, thousands of wholesale deals. I started my career as a wholesaler. One of the best things in the world to do is become a wholesaler and get into this business if that's right for you. I could not have skipped wholesale. It was something I needed. Some of you guys can skip wholesale, and we'll talk about that today before we wrap up. And over my entire career, I've loaned on probably about 300 or 400 RV parks, lending money to my students to get their deals done and investing in their deals. And my current portfolio is, by the end of this year, we'll be probably close to 25 RV parks. That's a lot. Right now, I think we have about a dozen, somewhere around there. We have about a dozen. RV parks are by far my favorite asset type. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. And some of the reasons are going to blow you away. It's going to seem like way too good to be true, but it is very true. And we'll actually talk about a couple of these parks that I own. Okay. One of the biggest reasons why I love RV parks and why you should too is because you can wholesale them too. You can wholesale these RV parks. You do not have to own them. And you will see why in the side chat that's so important. You'll see that there's a lot of people in the side chat. Everybody in the side chat, please do me a favor. If you want to find deals for other people right now because you're not ready to own them, say me in the side chat. Are you a deal finder or are you a deal keeper right now? Which one are you? A deal finder or a deal keeper? I'm not saying that's how you have to be forever and you have to be married to that, but are you a deal finder or are you a deal keeper? RV parks are incredible at just finding deals for other people, and it makes it very simple to get into the business. I will pay probably close to $500,000 in assignment fees this year to people that bring opportunities to me. Now, I love that because I love paying people. I think the largest 90 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand, 10 grand, 5 grand. I've paid everything in between. So for those of you guys that are like, I'm not ready to own RV parks, this seems overwhelming. Should I stick around for the next 4 days? Do you now have the comfort that you should stick around for the next 4 days to learn how to find these for other people and get paid a finder's fee? Can I get a yes? And that is helpful for a lot of people that are like, oh, dang, So I don't have to own, control, operate these parks. I'd like to at some point, but I don't have to do that. I could just do one a month or find one a quarter or find one a year and still make $100,000 to $300,000 a year. Finders, keepers. Where are my finders? Where are my keepers? Okay. Or where's both? Okay. So A, finder, B, keeper, C, both. Where are you guys at? A, finder, B, keeper, C, both. Okay. So you see that we have a variety of different people in here. 1,900 people over here in the private Zoom. If you guys are on YouTube right now, you should come over to the Zoom. It's a lot more fun. We have a super active 2,000 people over here, which is awesome. Okay, cool. So I love RV parks because of that. It is very simple to wholesale. Now, wholesaling is very different in single family versus RV parks. So let's talk about this. I'm going to address both people, finders and keepers here. Okay. Finders and keepers. Okay. For finders, you need to understand that in single family wholesale, okay, so here's you, the new person, newbie. In single family, right, regular family homes, you are typically going to need to be the negotiator, the contract person. You're going to have to be kind of the whole kit and caboodle. Here's what I mean by that. You are going to have to call the agent. You are going to have to negotiate with that agent. You are going to have to go and get that deal under contract. You're going to have to go and do all of these things and go get a contract on these houses, okay? Go get a contract so you can sell that contract to a buyer, okay? That's how wholesale typically works. So here's the buyer. You and the buyer really don't talk to each other until you get a contract on that property and you are ready to sell that contract. This is single family. What's kind of cool about RV parks is that RV parks are more challenging. They're bigger, harder to understand because there's more words that you've never heard before. And so you need to understand that your buyer is going to step in way more early in the process to help you get the deal across the finish line. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Why is that the case? Why does your buyer need to step in? Is because your seller, a lot of times, is going to give you seller finance. So let's say the orange is the seller and they own this RV park. That seller, 90% of the time, is going to be open to seller finance. Okay, even if they say no on the first time, 90% of the time, sellers are going to do some sort of seller finance, which means you can avoid the bank and the seller will allow you to make them payments. You, as the wholesaler, let's say you're green because you're greeny, you're a little bit wet behind the ears, you're brand new, you're greeny. Okay, you're so green, you're brand new. All right, you call this seller or this broker. Let's put them both in the same box, the seller and the broker. This seller and this broker are going to say, do you own any RV parks? Guess what does not happen in single family? No agent or seller are going to ask you, how big is your portfolio? What's your management experience like? That's not going to happen, really. This does happen very, very frequently in the RV park space. And so this is both a downside and a massive upside, depending on who you're talking to. For me, the buyer, here's the reality. I also need to look at all the underlying numbers. I need to look at who are the employees? What do their contracts look like with the landscape developer? How old are their septic tanks? What do their financials look like? Are they lying about their financials? Chances are yes. How do we fix those things? I need to step in way earlier. 100% of the time, somebody brings me an RV park that's already under contract, meaning that wholesaler has negotiated and gotten a price all the way down into the paperwork. I have to go back and renegotiate terms, price, close of escrow. I basically should have just gotten involved way earlier because there's way more moving parts. Why is that a downside for a newbie? That's a downside for a newbie if you don't have a legitimate buyer that will come in and be your partner. The way that I do this with my students is I come in there and I go, hey, I'd rather you just set the appointment for me and I will do the majority of the talking. I will then show them my, 20 plus RV parks. I will show them my 1,500 other rentals. I will show them my net worth statement. I will have them talk to my banker. I will have them see my LLC structure. I will have them talk to my family office. I will let them vet me so that you and I can get this deal done. Cool. Right now, I have a deal where I have a very experienced student. His name is Eddie. We love Eddie. Eddie does a lot of single family stuff. Okay. Eddie M, you guys probably know him. He's in Arizona. He's one of our leaders in Arizona. Eddie M has, for the last 5 years since he's been in SubTo, has primarily worked on single family homes. And so what has he done is he's gone out and got the contract and then sold the contract and made his fee. The contract came first. Then the buyer came second. In RV parks, this is very different. What Eddie's had to experience is Eddie came to me and goes, hey man, I'm running into a lot of block walls on these RV parks. They want to know, do I own other RV parks? Do I know how to manage RV parks? What's my net worth? What are the names of the parks I own? And I keep running into roadblocks. Can I use your credibility? I'm like, well, Eddie, you already know the answer to that is yes, you're in SubTo. I'm happy to help you out. But here's the thing, brother. I don't want you to just use my credibility. I want to be able to step in and have my team, Heather, or other people on my team, Jade, Molly, etc., and we all partner together on the deal, and my team helps interface and has some of those conversations with those brokers. Once these brokers say, yes, we're open to creative finance. We want to be able to be in there and do the contract the right way. So if you have a buyer lined up, do you see how this actually makes things easier for you deal finders? Yes or no? If you don't have a buyer lined up, you should see that this makes it way, way, way harder, because you will run into problems that you do not run into in single family. In single family, you will rarely, if ever, run into this problem. Okay. Heather says, I'm wanting to buy. Perfect. Okay. So Ashley says, what is your cut? I own it. Oh, you mean, I think, Ashley, what you're asking is how much do you get paid, right? How much do you get paid? All right. So, all right. So here we go. I will also give you guys a list of buyers. Okay. I'll show you guys how to find buyers this week. Okay. For the people that are not in SubTo, I'll show you how to find buyers. You'll have to cold call them, but I'll show you how to find them. You'll have to work with them and get a joint venture agreement, but I will show you how to find buyers if you are not in our community. And if you are in SubTo, I'll just pair you with buyers at the end of this week. Does that sound like a deal? Give me a yes. Okay, so everybody that is in SubTo, I've told you how I'm going to help you. I'll just pair you with legitimate buyers inside our private community that are doing deals, people I've even bought deals with, people outside of SubTo. I will show you how to pull a list, show you how to skip trace, and show you how to cold call those buyers, and then I'll set you out on your own to work those relationships. Okay. Yes, I love Canada. Go to my YouTube channel, type in Pace Morby Canada. Okay. We have a lot of Canadian students. Cool. All right. So I will show you also how to find buyers. Now, let me ask you a question, because everybody's going to ask this about finding RV parks. The number one thing is, if I'm a deal finder, okay, I'm going to ask the question of, well, how much do I get paid? Right? That's what you want to know. How do I know what my assignment fee is? Because after all, I've paid, this is interesting. I've paid finders $60,000 on $5 million RV parks. I've paid finders $90,000 on $3.5 million RV parks. So would you say that the purchase price has anything to do with the finder's fee that goes to that finder? Yes or no? No, it doesn't. Do I buy based on price, or do I buy based on its ability to make money in my pocket? Okay. And so, by the way, cash flow is not the word I want to use. I want you guys to learn something really, really good. This is a first note I want you to take down. I want you to write down the word SDE, seller discretionary earnings. That means money I can take home. Seller discretionary earnings. That is net income. I want my parks to make a net income. And if I am pulling money out and paying my bills and buying sushi and Crocs with it, then that's seller discretionary earnings. How many people just learned what SDE means? And you will run into this, by the way, 1,000 times in your career, maybe more. What is the SDE, or the free cash flow? Okay. We don't like using cash flow because idiots use that word incorrectly. Okay. Idiots use the word incorrectly and they've ruined it for everybody. Okay. Cash flow is so miscalculated that nobody knows what it actually means anymore. Okay. So SDE, okay, SDE is seller discretionary earnings, or free cash flow, like the money that goes in my pocket. Okay. So that is how you determine that fee. Well, Pace, can you talk about that a little bit deeper? Yeah, I'll talk about that on Thursday a little bit deeper. I have a student, like I said, Eddie, that is currently getting paid $150,000 on a deal that he brought me. This is a Texas RV park. I love Texas oil parks because these are long-term tenants that don't ever leave. And so you rarely have vacancy. It's just very steady. I'll talk about a bunch of parks we own and get really granular when my controller shows up tomorrow. He's getting paid $150,000. Well, why is he getting paid so much? The park is only a $2.5 million park. Why is he getting paid so much money? Well, because my team came in, Heather, and worked with Eddie, who has been in the community for 5 years, so he's a smart cookie. They work together to get a 0% seller finance, which means the seller is letting us give him payments at 0% interest. Do we agree? Give me thumbs up on the emojis that this warrants a $150,000 finder's fee on something that I'm paying 0 interest on my payments. Okay, so the smallest fee I've ever paid on an RV park was $10,000 to a finder. A deal finder got paid $10,000. Why was it so small? Because the park was not making money at that time. And so it took me 6 months to build it out, get it fixed up, and then fix that park. But here's the reality. In that $10,000, did that deal finder, we've already covered this, so if you showed up late, I apologize that you showed up a little bit late, but did that deal finder, did they have to negotiate that deal? Let me turn the side chat on to test you guys, a little pop quiz. Did they have to negotiate that? Did they have to show their credibility or use their credit? Did they have to know how to do the paperwork? Did they have to know how to structure the deal? Did they have to know how to overcome objections? Did they have to show their management experience? Did they have to do all the follow-up on this? No. Did they have to bring any money to the table on the purchase? Okay, cool. So if a park is breaking even or losing money and you got paid 10 grand to not have to do any of these things, would you not say that that is incredible? Brenton Crozier showed up late, and we're going to talk about this again. Okay. We'll talk about this again. Okay. When you say finder, you're not saying wholesaler. Yes, I'm not saying wholesaler. And the reason I don't say wholesaler is because I've chosen to use certain words that everybody can understand. Not everybody knows what a wholesaler is or what they do. In fact, it confuses a lot of people. And so I use the word finder for some of the audience when I'm in a 1,900 person Zoom. Can we get a yes that you understand why I use the word finder for some of the newer people that have no idea what wholesale might be? Who in the side chat is like, I've never heard of wholesale. I didn't know what wholesale was. Give me a me in the side chat so the people that do know what wholesale are reminded that there are people in the earlier stages currently that they did not know what wholesale meant. You also at some point did not know what that meant. Okay, cool. There you go. Amira says that helps me. Guys, you are smart. You are worthy. You are beautiful. And when I use words like finder instead of wholesaler, I think you can read between the lines. Okay? You can read between the lines. Please do not ask silly questions. Let's go cruising along. Okay? So now somebody's going to say, well, what does that person do? All right, cool. What does that person do? What does that person do? Here's what that newer person does. And I'll give you guys the value. This is why I love RV parks. This is, again, all part of the training. Okay, some people are like, are we off track? No, we're on track. These are the reasons why I love RV parks, is that you can do finder's fees or wholesaling or keep them depending on who you are and where you're at in your life. Okay, so you, the newbie, if you have a quality buyer, somebody that actually owns RV parks and is actively buying parks right now, they have the skills that you need, right? They have the negotiations. They have the paperwork. They have the management experience. They have the ability to raise capital. They have a team. They have all of these things that you don't have. You have to understand that these people are probably busier than you. Would we agree that those people are probably busier than you? Can I get a yes? Okay. Do these people want to be raising money, negotiating, structuring deals, or do they want to be on the front end setting appointments? Which one do you think they want to be doing? If you had Michael Jordan on your team, would you put him selling concessions and popcorn? Kind of a waste of his time, wouldn't you say? You want to make sure you're passing the ball to Michael Jordan. He is a highly skilled individual. And so what you're doing is you are saving these people time. What is more valuable to a rich person that's already doing deals, time or money? Time. And so you are saving them time on the front end when you are newer. Now, some of you guys are just ready to buy RV parks. And so this 4 days is going to be exceptional for you. Some of you guys are just ready to find deals for people in here. Okay. And so what you would learn, let's say hypothetically, you are in my private community. Next month, we are bringing newer members to my office, and we are going to spend a week with you showing you how to set appointments on Monday. You will be setting appointments that I will call on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Friday, and we will be doing live deals. Me, and the other buyers I pair you up with, we will be the ones that are negotiating, structuring, all of those types of things for you. You simply just need to learn how to set appointments on Monday. And so for those of you guys that are not in the private community, I will show you how to find buyers that you can do this with, and you'll have to cold call them and work out an agreement that you can set appointments for them. But that is one of the coolest things that you can do, is as the newer person, you reach out to the brokers, and all you are doing is saying, hey, broker, I work for a company. I'm looking for RV parks. Would you have time to chat with the principal or the owner of our company on Tuesday at 2 p.m.? You would help set that appointment, and then that buyer, the person that's on the back end, would help you say, hey, this appointment went really, really well. Please follow up with that person in 2 weeks based on X, Y, Z, PDQ, okay? So you would do the first appointment, and then you would do the follow-up to keep the appointments going. That value saves us, the people that are actively doing deals, raising capital, going to conferences, being part of masterminds, educating ourselves. We don't have to be on the front lines. Is this something that you as a brand new person could do with 1 day's worth of training? Yes or no? How many people feel like you could do that and you now feel like you have a place in this business? Okay, the lowest amount of money I've ever seen somebody make on a finder's fee was 10 grand on an RV park. Lowest I've ever seen. Okay, so for those of you guys who are like, well, how much do I make? You can make a lot. Okay, we'll talk about more of this a little bit deeper in the business. Okay, so I want to tell you guys more about how to become a keeper over the next couple of days, but today is a little bit more basic. Okay, so freaking amazing. I love this about RV parks. It's one of the reasons why I like RV parks, is that even newer people can participate in this business. So that is number one. Number one reason why I love RV parks is that you can wholesale these deals, or as we have described this before, I can bird dog, or to simplify this, I can set appointments for a team and do follow-up to get paid a fee and participate in making today money. RV parks can help you make today money, and not just big money, like significantly big money. Like I've said, I've paid $90,000 fees. I've paid $60,000 fees. I've paid $150,000 fees just for people bringing opportunities to me, not contracts. Okay. That is the number one reason why I love RV parks, is anybody can participate in them. Now, let me give you guys another lesson before we go deeper. Okay. Another lesson is I want to start using the right terminology in this business, and you should want to know it too. When we are working opportunities, I want you to remember these words: suspect, prospect, lead, contract, deal. What a lot of newer people use is the word they use incorrectly is the word deal. They think everything should be described as a deal. We talked about this. I don't know. Every time I teach, I cover this because I want to change the industry and make sure everybody's using the right industry language. A deal means something that is so well worth buying that it's going to go off the shelves in 20 seconds. It's going to sell out. A lead is what most people usually have, which is a seller or an agent says, yes, I'm open to an offer, or I'm open to a conversation. Okay. A contract means you've already done the negotiation, you've already followed and managed the lead, and now this thing is currently under contract legally that you can go and buy that deal. Yeah, there you go. Omar says people use the word deal like agents use the word turnkey. That is correct. Okay. Now, prospect is what I would say most people have. Okay. Most people have a prospect. Even a little bit less, but very, very close, is a lot of people have suspects. Okay. So, Tarika, please email support@subto.com. You keep asking the same question, my friend. You could always email support@subto.com. Okay. All right. So, how many people have seen new people use these words incorrectly? Give me a me in the side chat. Pace, I have a deal I'd like to talk to you about. No, you don't. If you had a deal, you would have already sold it to somebody else. There's no reason you would talk to me about a deal. Okay. Less than 1% of the time you should ever use the word deal. Deal means it's ready to buy and somebody should have already bought it. Otherwise, why are you bringing it to me? Okay. Here's what I mean by that. If I go to Walmart and that Walmart greeter that I'm friends with, Steve, I see him every single week. Hey, Pace. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Steve knows I love buying Fresca, and Fresca is a great price at Walmart. It's $3 for a dozen cans of Fresca. No sugar, no calories, tastes amazing. I walk into Walmart one day. Steve says, Pace, you got to see the deal on Fresca today. I'm like, yo, really? He says, really? I grab my cart. I rush all the way back to the beverage aisle. I go down to the Frescas, and it says deal. $12 for a dozen cans of Fresca. Is that a deal? Yes or no? Is that a deal? Do we understand that we should rarely ever use the word deal? Change the word that you are using. It will allow you to get more help from people a little bit more experienced than you. I'm helping you out, getting more help. Okay. Sarah Lynn says, depends on how much you have been paying. Yes. And Sarah Lynn, I already answered that. Okay. How much was I paying, guys? I said this really quickly. How much was I paying before? For the people that actually have a memory that goes longer than 13 seconds, I was paying $3. So if Steve says it was $12 and it was a deal, should I go back and give Steve a hug and say, thank you for telling me about that deal? Or should I flick him in the ear and go, don't ever tell me. Actually, I don't trust you anymore. The next time Steve tells me he sees a deal at Walmart, would I trust Steve ever again that he knows what a deal looks like? Yes or no? Okay. So when you're in the business and you start using the word, I have a deal I need you to look at, you are like the boy who cried wolf. People stop respecting what you say because they realize that you don't know what a good price of Fresca is. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. So that is a deal. A deal means it's ready to buy. It's an incredible price and somebody probably should have already bought it. I can't believe it's being even submitted to me. When people bring a deal to me, I go, if it was a deal, you would have already sold it. I'm now fearful that you do not have a deal. In fact, it's a bad deal. Maybe could you say, Pace, I have a potentially bad deal. Will you look at it? That would be a right way of saying it. Now, contract It means you have already gotten it under contract. Paperwork has been signed. The seller has signed the contract. You are a legally binding contract. You have negotiated with the seller. The seller believes you are the buyer. This is a pretty heavy deal. You cannot have a deal without a contract. Okay? So even then, people should rarely be using that word. I would say most people should be using the word prospect. Okay? Very few people should be using the word lead. I'd say probably 40% of people should be using prospect, 10% of people should be using lead, maybe 40% of people should be using suspect, and maybe 10% up here, okay, between these two. Now, let me show you the difference between a suspect and a prospect. A suspect means I'm driving down the road. I see an RV park. And I see an RV park that's kind of mismanaged. It's gross. It has like weeds all over it. I suspect that person's having a hard time managing their RV park. I have not prospected at all. I haven't dug deeper. Who's the owner? How long have they owned it? I haven't done any fact finding. So do we understand at that point that that is a suspect, not a prospect? Can I get a yes? This will come up multiple times on day 2 and day 3 during this warm-up training for the next 4 days. It will come up quite often. Okay. So prospect means I have done my homework. I found out who the owner is, how long they've owned it, what other parks they own. I've actually dug in to find out if it's listed with an agent, not listed with an agent. I've actually done some homework, but a prospect, okay? A prospect means I have not actually done the most important thing of all, which is calling the broker. And calling the broker and setting an appointment. Once you call the broker and set an appointment, it has now officially become a lead because somebody has said, yes, I'm open to a conversation about selling the property. Does everybody understand? Suspect, prospect, lead, contract, and deal. Can I move on from this? Can you all take a screenshot of this and please tattoo this to your thigh so you please never, 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 ever use these words incorrect. Cool. Pace said earlier he won't do deals with people outside of the SubTo community. I'm guessing that includes RV parks. It includes all deals, every type of deal. Even if you have a kangaroo you want to sell me, I won't buy a kangaroo, even if you are outside the community. Take a screenshot. There you go. Okay, cool. So what's cool about RV parks is that you don't have to know a lot to get started, right? That's one of the best things is you could be a brand new beginner. It's the number one reason I like it. Cool. Newbie friendly. It is very newbie friendly. You just need to make sure you are paired up with a quality buyer. Write that down if you're a note taker. Paired up with a quality buyer that knows what they're doing. Okay. That's a big thing. They will alleviate most of the pain. All right, number 2 reason why I like RV parks is that they are going to be growing by a 2x margin over the next 10 years. What does that mean? That means right now there are about 19,000 RV parks in the United States. Write that down. Okay, there's about 18,000 right now, but 1,000 of them are currently being constructed. Okay, about 20 per state are currently being constructed across the country right now. 20 per state are being constructed. It's about 1,000 are under construction. And that will amplify, and this will go to nearly 40,000 RV parks over the next 10 years. Why? Why is this such a growing market? It's a growing market because now with the advent of Starlink, reliable internet is everywhere. Doesn't everybody have a dream of just being in an RV and being with your kids and traveling the country and seeing our entire beautiful country and working from your laptop 3, 4, 5 days a week? Cool. This is what's happening. Most of my clients, most of the people that are living in my RV parks are remote workers. They're traveling around the country. Okay. They are, Sean says, maybe until it starts smelling bad. I have never had an RV that I live in that smells bad, but yes. Sean says, I need a good shower. Most RVs have showers, brother. But good try. Awesome. Yeah, there you go. Chad says, I lived in one for 9 years. Now, the average, does anybody know the average rent? Okay, the average rent, this is number 3. It's affordable to live in an RV park. These are not trailer parks. We're going to talk about that next. Okay. What is the average cost to live in an RV park full time? Depending on the park, of course, but we are talking anywhere between about $400 on a like mid-tier. Okay. There's some lower end ones you don't want to stay in, all the way up to about $1,500 a month. That includes rental of the dirt, the sewer, the electrical, the internet, etc. Would we say that this $400 to $1,500 range is hyper affordable? The $1,500 price also includes a pool. It includes golf course stuff, amenities, a laundry room, all that kind of stuff. These ones that are like $400 a month do not include a lot of amenities. So this is where the world is heading. More and more people are starting to live full-time in RV parks. One example is we just had a lady that's lived in our RV park for a little over 20 years. She just died last week and she's lived there for 20 plus years. Okay. It's hyper affordable to live in an RV park. So they are growing, and with AI coming and taking your job, firing everybody in the world, which is happening, guys. If you don't believe me, go look up OpenClaw. Write that note down. Watch a YouTube video about OpenClaw and tell me you're not going to lose your job in 12 months. Go watch an OpenClaw YouTube video and you will be like, holy moly. Yeah, go write it down. OpenClaw. Your job's cooked. You're cooked. I'm telling you, you're cooked. AI is coming for you. There's not one job that's safe except for blue collar, maybe for 4 years. Okay. Haven't had a job in 30 years. Awesome, Jennifer Goodwin. We know that. You're awesome. Okay. I'm not going to put the link to the OpenClaw video on YouTube. There's about 1,000 of them. You just aren't in that algorithm. Here, I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. You just go over to YouTube. And I want you to just simply say, yeah, OpenClaw. Just go to YouTube and type in OpenClaw. And you'll see, in fact, I'll do one that's really mean. Watch this. OpenClaw take jobs. Okay. Look at this. 12 days ago, 66,000 views. Not good for OpenClaw. Okay. OpenClaw is just don't 7,000, 11,000. OpenClaw explained in 12 minutes what's happening. Essentially what OpenClaw is, my friends, and you should be aware of this. This does have to do with RV parks. OpenClaw is essentially an agent. Okay. AI is now past the point where it's just ChatGPT. In fact, ChatGPT is kind of a waste of your time at this point. It's just giving you a bunch of useless information that you're not applying anywhere. Can I get a guilty that everybody's like, yeah, I'm on ChatGPT asking questions all the time, but I haven't made any more money? How many people are guilty of this? You are overwhelmed with information. It hasn't done jack all for you. Okay. Guilty, 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 guilty. OpenClaw is now replacing full-on employees because it is now an agent. So think about this. If I could have a full-time human being, think about this. I could have a full-time human being with your keyboard and your mouse sitting in front of your computer 24 hours a day. They can type anything you can type and they can do anything you can with a mouse. How much would you pay for that? A full-time employee that did not sleep, did not eat, did not complain, did not need a hoorah meeting, and you could literally tell it what to do. And you could even just say, hey, I want to figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. Can you just do it for me? OpenClaw. Caleb says, so we will own RV parks operated with OpenClaw. No, I'll get to the point. Give me a second. Be patient, my friends. The reason why you haven't made money in your life is you have no patience. Okay. The reality is your OpenClaw or other agents are now going to start taking jobs because OpenClaw can now do everything you can do on a computer. It can actually click the buttons. It can actually type the things. It can answer your emails. It can reply to text messages. It can book the calls. It can it can literally do all of the work, the graphic design, everything. Okay. Go watch it and you will go, why does my company even need me? You will literally ask the question after watching 3 of those videos, why does my company even need me? This is a great thing if you are poised in the right direction, which means, do you think with less people having jobs? It is already happening, guys. January's job report is down 181,000 jobs. We have a horrible job report market. While the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Why? Is because they're poised for prosperity and you are not. Most people are not poised for prosperity. So where will people live if they can't afford the $2,500 rent payment? Where will they live if they can't afford to live in a nice apartment building? Where will these people live? Where will they live? RV parks. I'm already seeing it. I've owned RV parks now for 7 years. Is Pace really AI? No, I'm not AI. I'm just a regular dude. They will live in RV parks. And the reason I know this is because I own them. And you are also looking at the data of RV parks as more and more people are now living in RV parks full time. It's not, can it clean and cook though? Yeah, look at, have you not seen Atlas? Guys, hold on a second. Like if you have not seen Atlas and you think that your job as a nurse, your job as a roofer, your job as anything is safe, watch this. Let's go to Boston Dynamics and let's go to Atlas. And you tell me that your job is safe. This is 2 days ago, by the way. Check this out. Guys, the belief system of like nurses are safe, roofers are safe, people that swing a hammer are safe. That is such nonsense. I've said this for years. These robots are so good. Just follow Boston Dynamics on YouTube and watch what they post every single day. If you do not own real estate or you do not own things that are affordable or paid for by the government, you are going to be in a world of hurt in the next 3 to 5 years, period. Not trying to be a doomsdayer. Can we understand I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer? I'm trying to give you like real legit stuff. Can we all agree I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer? Can we get a yes? That you would please agree with this. I just give you 2 things to research that you won't research. You're going to put your head in the sand, and you're going to hide, and in 24 months, you're going to have no job. You're going to live on UBI, Universal Basic Income. It is scary. It is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely scary. So here's one of the biggest reasons why I love RV parks. They print money. Okay, they print money, and here's what I want to show you. Let's go to. I have some aerial shots of my RV parks, and I know a lot of you guys have been at RV parks, but let's just do a little aerial shot of one of my RV parks, and you can see there's not a lot to manage. So when you make money at an RV park, you actually get to keep it. Whereas like on my single family properties, my multifamily properties, there's a roof, there's a this, there's a that. Something's going on all the time. Okay, let's go to my YouTube studio. Let's go RV there yet. My bad, not the right one. Okay, cool. So you will see these RV parks that I own. It's going to play music. We'll mute it. This is one of my smaller RV parks right here in Montana. If you look straight down that road, I own another RV park towards those mountains. I'll show you those here in a couple of minutes. What is there to manage here? It's grass, it's trees, some septic tanks, and some electrical. This park right here in my pocket, SDE, Seller Discretionary Earnings, is about 14 grand a month, this little park. I have never managed a single thing here. Somebody lives there. You guys can see there's 2 houses there. Okay, 2 houses. One is the first red house. It looks like a little red barn. That is where the laundry is, the management team, and then somebody lives on site in this other little red cabin. They live for free rent and they manage the park. Okay, so you can see in this hover, apparently my team only looked, okay, this is my bigger park. All right, this park right here nets me $22,000 a month. You will see in this hover, hopefully my guy went over and covered this. This park has self-storage. You guys can see a little storage on the upper side. And then right here in these trees, right here behind this RV park, where the RV park like manager lives, you've got where the landscape guy lives, etc. The people who manage these parks live on site. And when you look at these, what is there to manage? It's gravel, it's grass, it's trees, etc. I've got little cabins right here. We built 20 cabins, by the way. People can park out here on the grass and do like dry camping. That makes good money. And then I've got a laundry service right here. These parks do not have much to manage, period. So when you look at revenue, you will be able to keep your revenue at a very high level. Let me pull it up for you guys so you guys can all see it. And I'll actually pull up my revenue for that park, the one that we just looked at. Let's see, history. I pulled this up yesterday for everybody. Why is this important for you to know? It's important for you to know because when you keep these RV parks, one of the things that made me so fearful in single family, sorry guys, it looks like I'm not looking at you. I actually am not looking at you. I am looking for my team's financial report on that asset so we can pull that up and I can show you how much money that thing makes. Okay. Okay. So these parks actually get to keep money. That park is making $22,000 a month. And when I say making, that's not generating revenue. That's net. That thing nets me $22,000 a month. So let's look at the P&L just real quick. My financial team will look at this even deeper tomorrow, but this is one of the other reasons why I love RV parks. Here's the address. You guys can see it, 3185 Mountain Highway 40 West. This is in Montana. Yes, it's a real park. Yes, I own it. This park, you can see monthly revenue, 66 grand, 122 grand, 90 grand, 49 grand, 26 grand, $20,000. This is a seasonal park. We'll talk about non-seasonal parks tomorrow, but you can see my net. Okay, this is in my pocket, 33 grand in June, 91 grand in my pocket in July. Then there's some months that you have to make sure you hold some cash from the nice months. But this park, in my first 11 months of owning it, I believe the first 11 months of owning this park, we netted about 180 grand our first 11 months. So like almost 200 grand the first 12 months. There it is in the lower right-hand corner. You guys can see the number, $181,344 in my pocket off of one asset. $181,000. That's after every expense. That's after my seller finance. I pay the seller every single month a note. I pay that seller a payment every month of 18 grand for the $5 million I bought the park for. Did not need a bank for that. That's another reason why I love RV parks. That's actually number 5. Number 3 is affordability. Number 4 is that you keep the money because of low maintenance. And number 5 is most sellers, 90% of sellers will sell to you with some sort of seller finance. And you can do these deals truly no money out of pocket. How many people would be able to buy one park like that, one park, and never have to work again? 181 grand a year in your pocket. How many people could quit your job off that one deal? Okay. Cool. Now I have a couple of other parks that we'll talk about in a couple of days that are netting even more than that. I've got a park that's making us 30 grand a month. It's an oil field park. That's kind of a unicorn, but I would say the average RV park that you're going to look at and keep in your portfolio should make you about $13,000 to $15,000 per month. SDE, seller discretionary earnings. That's free cash flow in your pocket. Okay. Lisa says not enough for me to quit my job. Okay, perfect. How many RV parks, Lisa, and everybody else do you need? How many do you need of these to quit your job? Somebody said 7. Craig, be serious, dude. You don't need to quit your job over $1 million a year. You're wild. Okay, most people are going to say 1 to 2. Okay, 1 to 2. Do these parks sell at cap rates? Rudy, we'll talk about cap rates later down the week. Okay. I already told you guys what we're going to cover today, and I'm staying right on top of it. Okay. All right. So Jennifer Rose says 0.33. All right. So I can avoid banks. Not one of these parks do I own with a bank. Not one of them do I use my credit, and not one of them have I used my own money. That park that I just covered yesterday, I did a 3-hour breakdown of it yesterday. The replay, Carly has put in the side chat multiple times. You guys can go and watch that replay. There's 3 hours breaking down where that deal came from, how I negotiated it, what does that park produce for me in income, and how I bought that and got paid up front. That is that park. Okay. So number 1 reason why I like RV parks is because anybody can do them. Number 2, it is a growing market. Number 3, it solves affordability. Number 4, I get to keep my money. Whereas in single family, a lot of times I go make 20 grand in cash flow on a park or a property in single family, and then I get a roof repair that's $18,000. You really don't have a lot of repairs on RV parks. In fact, if I pull up the P&L, which I will, the profit and loss statement, I'll pull that up on Tuesday or Wednesday with my controller, you'll see that we rarely have anything to fix. Okay. We have a handyman on site. He's there full time. He gets free rent. Like, just think about this. I have a strip of dirt on this park. It seems too good to be true. I own a dozen of them. I still feel like it's too good to be true. The handyman, the landscape guy, the person that manages the park basically work for free rent plus a couple $100. And they treat the park like it's their house because it is. They live there. You will see in my YouTube videos, I go interview my team. They don't even know who I am. They're like, oh, you're the owner? Okay, cool. I've worked here for 6 months. I've never met you before. It is a truly passive investment. Once you get management in place, these people live on the park. They raise their children there and they treat the park like it's their own. Now, that's not to say you won't have problems with these people, but there's amazing places to find new park managers. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Okay. When Heidi, my park manager, comes in and talks to us on Wednesday, we will talk to you guys about how to find these people, how to vet these people, how to get these people on your team, and ultimately what our payment structure with these people are. Okay. So I love it because of that reason. I love RV parks that I can keep the money. These people live on site. There's little to manage. I get to keep my money. I get to take this money home and actually retire off of it. Number 5 reason why I love RV parks is because people will creative finance or seller finance. 90% of the time, people will say yes to this. It actually benefits them. Pace, how? I did 5.5 hours of training yesterday. Go and watch that. It was incredible. Okay, cool. So where do I find these RV parks? How do I find these opportunities? One of the things I will do for you guys, we only do this RV park training once a year. We did it last year, and I helped about 200 people get RV parks from the last time I did this training up until now. And so now here we are, new year. We're doing this training all over again. Helped 200 people last year get their first RV park. In fact, check this out. This touched my freaking soul the other day. I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm on tour. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go to creativenationtour.com, you'll see that I am currently on tour visiting people all over the country that I am doing deals with. Check this guy out. Miles flew. Okay, I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I meet this gentleman named Miles. Miles walks up to me at the meetup in Cheyenne, and he says, Pace, I flew all the way here to say thanks to you. I was like, what? And he said, we did the RV park challenge with you guys last year, and me and my wife bought our first park in December. And I'm like, oh, you flew here? Did you coming back from vacation? He goes, no, I live in Pennsylvania. I was like, why didn't you see me in Pennsylvania? I was on tour in Pennsylvania. He goes, because the crowd was too big. I wanted to come and shake your hand personally and look you in the eyes. This guy flew 1,500 miles to say thank you to me because him and his wife just bought their first RV park in December on creative finance, on seller finance, no bank, no credit. I helped 200 people last year buy their first RV park. That is why I'm doing this all over again. You can avoid banks, my friends. You can avoid credit. You can buy these parks with no money out of your pocket. It seems too good to be true, but I have videos, addresses. 800 students have bought RV parks, the majority of them with creative finance. It still does seem too good to be true, though, doesn't it? It really does. Okay, cool. Let's talk about where we find these parks because we want to start looking for and doing these deals. Now, I will also touch on today, we'll do the 10 places to find the RV parks, and then I'll tell you where I would start based on who you are in the process, okay? All right, awesome. So first place that you can find RV parks is that on Thursday, I'm going to give you a list of RV parks, okay? So that's number 1, Uncle Pace. Okay, number 1, Uncle Pace is going to give you guys 5,000 RV park list. Okay, now these are going to be off market, my friends, off market. Off market means these sellers are not actively selling their parks. You would have to cold call them. We will talk about that on Thursday as well. How do we cold call and how do we talk to these people? How do we negotiate with them? How do we move it down the road? I will give you step by step by step by step on Thursday. Okay. Uncle Pace will give you 5,000 RV park list on Thursday. Can I get a heck yes or a yes in the side chat that you guys are going to be here for Thursday for that list? Now, let me tell you what that list costs me. I refresh this list every single year, 18,000. And I give that full list to the SubTo community every single year. It's not a lot of money. I'd say it costs about $2,000 to pull that list every single year, refresh the numbers, etc. So everybody in SubTo, you already have the full RV park list. It's in our SubTo resource guide. Go take a look at it. If you are not in SubTo, I'm going to give you 5,000 of these. That cost me about $500. So I'm going to give you guys a $500 gift on Thursday. Okay. I will also show you how to pull that list, and you won't have to pull that list because I'll just do it for you and give you guys the fresh phone numbers. Okay. Michelle says, how can we watch the replay from yesterday? Michelle, you can look in the side chat. Carly's going to drop the replay in here for you just in a second, as she has probably about 40 times already. The replay will be in the side chat. Notice how I have to say the same thing about 25 times. That's perfectly fine. I'm happy to do it. All right, cool. So that's number one. Uncle Pace is going to give you 5,000 RV park list on Thursday. All right. Cool. So that's number one. I'll just write Thursday here so you guys know you're going to get that list on Thursday. I will pull it live. I will show you guys. It does cost me $500 to give you that. And we'll make sure you guys get that. Number two, another really awesome place to go is creativelisting.com. creativelisting.com. This is a free website, my friends. Free. It's completely free. And you can find investors doing deals on here. Most of the deals on here are going to be my students. creativelisting.com. This is free. So you can go on here and say, I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to sell. My students are posting their deals on here to sell you investment properties, or please pay attention, not just investment properties, they will sell you properties for you to live in as well. You just got to start a profile and you've got to go in there and tell us what you are looking for. creativelisting.com. Now, where do these deals come from? Okay, where do these deals come from that are on Creative Listing? These deals come from people. Please pay attention, because you're going to be like, wait, what? I don't understand. I don't get it. What's Creative Listing? Here's how this works, my friends. There is sellers that are getting ready to retire. We will show you how to find these people. Okay, we call these people the silver tsunami, right? They have silver hair and they're a tsunami, a big wave of people wanting to retire. I show my students how to find these people, communicate with these people, and get them under contract. So here's one of my new students. Okay, one of my new students calls this seller from the training I give them. This new student sets an appointment with a badass closer inside of my SubTo community. And this SubTo closer ends up keeping 1 or 2 RV parks and then says, man, I can't take any more. Why don't we sell a couple of these things on creativelisting.com? And they will sell you guys deals on creativelisting.com. Have I been like level 10 ultra clear of where the deals come from on creativelisting.com? Can you just give a big thank you? You know how much money we spent on that website in the last year and a half? Probably close to $400,000, and a lot of volunteer time for you to have zero cost of buying a deal from my students. Holy moly, yes, I am changing the industry. My community, our community is changing the industry. It is very clear. Now, here's something else I would tell you for creativelisting.com. By the way, is that one resource worth your guys' time of showing up here today? That one resource, was that worth your time showing up here today? Now, let me amplify it with a little cherry on top, okay? Little cherry on top is, if you over here, I'm going to draw you as orange, because orange, you glad you showed up today, okay? You go over to Creative Listing and there's not something over there that you want. Guess what's cool about my students? If you tell them what you want, it will ping them to go find it for you. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. My students will be able to go and find those things for you, even if you don't want an RV park. My students, we don't just do RV parks, guys. We do creative finance. Beautiful thing about creative finance is a big freaking umbrella. Creative finance allows us to do everything. It allows us to do Section 8, co-living, RV parks, mobile home parks, self-storage facilities, everything you can imagine. Our students are dominating in this industry. And if you tell them what you want, they will go and find it for you because they know how to find deals. Yes, ranches. Yes, event centers. Yes, I saw an event center in not Seattle, Vancouver, Washington the other day. Okay. Entered creative listings. You just go to creativelisting.com, Paul. Don't make it hard on yourself, my friend. Creativelisting.com. If somebody says it's not working for me. Well, if you stopped using an Android, it might work for you a little bit better, my buddy. Okay. Use something that's modern technology. All right. Let me just copy the link for you right here in the side chat. You guys can see I'm screen sharing it. I'm going to put it in the side chat for you. The link will be in the side chat. And if you still can't get there, we know it's your problem, not ours. Okay. So there is resource number 2. That cherry on top is huge because a lot of people go, well, Pace's students find a lot of deals. I just want a house for my family at 2% interest or 0% interest or 4% interest. And I want to find a house here. Go in creative listing, sign up for a free thing, go in there and tell people what you want. It will alert my students to go and find that for you. Those people will be deal finders and they'll go lock up contracts, bring them to you, and you can say yes or no to those things. That's the beautiful thing that we changed in the industry. Okay. Gotta love our community. We do a lot to change the industry. Okay, cool. So that is number 1 and number 2, which are pretty simple, but also very important for you to know. One of my favorite ones, okay? Now, some people are like, just tell me one where I can go find one that's already ready to sell. Right? Give me a challenge, Pace. You've made these things too easy. Yeah, you're right. But let's talk about this for a second. On Thursday, I'm going to give you a list. This list, you are going to have to cold call this list. This is direct to seller, DTS as we call it, direct to seller. So if a seller owns the park, remember this fact, every deal you'll ever do in your life will always start with a seller. You will have to take this list I give you on Thursday, and you will have to learn from me how to call that list, set appointments, talk to these sellers, etc. That is the list I'm giving you on Thursday. You'll understand why I'm going to tell this to you in just a second, because on number 3, which is one of my favorite websites, I'm on there almost every day. Number 3 is not direct to seller. Okay, number 3 is direct to broker. Okay, number 3 is Crexy.com. Number 4, LoopNet.com. Okay. These are both sites where sellers, okay, Crexy, look at that. Guys, you guys can take a screenshot. I'll give you guys a cool little hint in just a second. Actually, I'll just do it for you right now so I can draw for a couple of minutes. But let's go to Crexy.com. I'll show you how simple this can be. And we will talk about the metrics on this in a little bit, but let's go to Crexy.com. CREXI.com. I'm going to go to the search bar right here and I'm going to type in owner finance or seller finance. And I can find right now people that are willing to seller finance, owner finance, hotels, strip malls, mobile home parks, lakeshore properties, self-storage facilities, RV parks. Okay, anything you want, you can find on Crexy.com. And if you type in the look at this, it's got like 16,000 listings, my friends. And these are everything you could imagine. You want to go develop an RV park, you want land, you want a commercial contract. Ooh, this is good. Garages in Texas. Cool. Was that resource valuable for you guys that showed up today to get an understanding of Crexy.com and that you could type in owner finance and avoid the banks? Okay, look at you guys getting this little dopamine hits. Okay, a little dope. I like giving you guys dope. I'm a dopamine dealer. I will give it to you all day long. Okay, awesome. Happy to give it to you. So Crexy.com, owner finance, loopnet.com, same thing. I like LoopNet and Crexy. Now there are other sites, and I'm going to go through some of these other sites that are really, 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 really good. But I want to cover something real quick. Okay, these sites that we're going to cover for the next little bit are broker represented. And so what's going to happen is when you cold call sellers directly from the list I'm going to give you on Thursday, these sellers are going to require less credibility from you, but it's going to require more skill on your part to negotiate with them because they don't know, okay? They don't know the lingo. They don't know how to talk to you. It is harder to go directly to a seller in terms of skill set because when you are working with a broker, this is what's cool about brokers, sellers have a broker in between you and them. And this broker will handle a lot of the terminology, a lot of the flow, a lot of the transaction, the due diligence. They've already gathered and kind of coached the seller on getting their finances in order, getting your profit and loss statements all dialed in. And so this broker makes it a lot easier in a lot of ways. However, they're going to make it a lot harder on you because they're going to want to know, who are you that you are bothering me, the licensed broker? Who are you? Do you own anything yet? Or are you just wasting my time? They're going to ask these questions. In single family, they don't. Okay. Single family real estate agents don't ask those questions, but in larger assets, you will run into these things. Whether you're buying a business with creative finance, an apartment building with creative finance, an RV park with creative finance, the broker is going to want to know, who are you? Who are you with? Have you closed these transactions before? Or are you just wasting my time? Okay. So direct to seller is going to require more skills, right? Calling a seller for the first time, not even knowing what questions to ask. Are you interested in selling? When somebody has an agent that they're being represented by, do we need to wonder whether that person wants to sell their park or not? Yes or no? If somebody's being represented by a broker, do we need to wonder whether they want to sell their park or not? Okay, are we following along? You guys understand why some of these lists are harder than other lists? If I call the list I give you on Thursday, what is going to be harder about that list I give you on Thursday than Crexy and LoopNet? What's going to be harder? Give me some answers in the side chat. What are some skills you're going to have? Okay, cold call, initial contact, knowing what to say, not wanting to look stupid, not knowing what questions to ask, building trust, language, rapport building, finding the pain, all of those types of things, right? Being I think most of you guys can be personable. There you go, deal structures, tactical empathy. Okay, lots and lots of skills that you're going to have to pick up the pace or pick up the speed on. What about with a broker? What's going to be the downfall of calling a broker directly? The upside is that you don't have to guess if they're trying to sell, right? You know they're trying to sell, so you're no longer cold calling. I would say that when you are calling sellers directly, this one at the very top, that would be cold call. Okay, you're cold calling. People don't know that they want to sell. You have to convince them. With brokers, you are not cold calling. You are warm calling is what I would call it. Because you already know these people want to sell. They are on the market. You aren't cold calling somebody that's on the market. They want you to call them. So what are the downfalls to calling a broker, even though it's a warm call? Advantages, they expect a call. They want people to call them. You're not having to guess whether they're trying to sell. Okay. Do brokers understand creative structures? Yes, a lot of them do. Okay, let me say that 20% of them do. Okay. Proof that you're legit. There you go. Knowing that your info deeply for the broker, proof of funds. A lot of people have a problem with proof of funds. They don't know the seller's pain. That is a good point, Dana. Thank you for that. They cost money. Yeah. There you go. They don't want to split their commission or lower their commission. I don't want them to lower their commission either. What's up, Samson? Good to see you, brother. They need more info that you don't have. There you go. All right. So is that helpful? Tell me, if you're starting out today, where do you think you would start? Would you just buy deals from my students on creativelisting.com? Would you want to go beat your face in on number one by cold calling sellers? Or would you want to set appointments for people like me calling brokers, and let me handle the tough side? What would you want to do out of these four? Don't be a weirdo and say, I want to do it all. You ain't going to do it all. Okay, so you won't. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right, most people are saying, I'd like to set appointments so I can avoid that pain. Got it. Love that. All right, now let's talk about some more. There's some little known ones that a lot of people don't know about. Little known ones that I want to cover as well, but there are some other market ones, okay? Really great market ones. RV Park, I think it's, my team goes here all the time. RV Park Superstore. Let me pull that up. Okay, it's RV Park Superstore. Okay, the Campground Marketplace is a good one. The Campground Marketplace. The Campground Marketplace. The Campground Marketplace. thecampgroundmarketplace.com. Parksandplaces.com is another really good one. Parksandplaces.com. Now, I'm going to give you guys a couple of others, but I want you, those are those 6. So take a screenshot. Thursday list, I'm going to give you. Tuesday, creative listing. I'm going to give you guys already are going to go over to creative listing and work with the SubTo members. They're going to sell you deals. That'll be great. 3, Crexy.com. 4, LoopNet.com. 5, thecampgroundmarketplace.com. Number 6, parksandplaces.com. Now, this one is going to be an interesting one because a lot of people won't realize that it actually is super powerful. A lot of sellers will go and list their own parks. It's surprising, about 10% of all the deals I see that my SubTo members are doing, about 10% of those deals are coming from Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Places where sellers can just market these things on their own without a broker. A lot of these sellers are retiring and they don't want to pay commissions. So Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace surprisingly have tons and tons of them. Okay. Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So about 10% of them are Facebook Marketplace. Some of you guys hate Mark Zuckerberg, so you're going to pay. I don't have Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Well, that's a you problem. You're the person that thinks that you're so cool that you shouldn't have Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg's spying on you. And what's he going to find? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is Mark Zuckerberg going to find about you? All right. Okay. So that's 7 and 8. Now, here is one. If you guys want to buy the greatest RV park company on the planet, is called KOA. I freaking love KOA. I want to own a KOA. I stay at KOAs all the time, but I do not own any. And so ownakoa.com. Here's what's cool. You can actually work with, I don't get paid to do this. I don't do this to like promote. This is just something I've seen a lot of our students do. They just go and buy one of these. So here's what'll happen. Okay, ownakoa.com. If you go here, you can see the ones that are listed in all of these areas. So there you go, Canada. You know that Canada is possible to do this. There are RV parks right now for sale, right here, right now. Okay, KOA. Now, what you're going to do when you talk to the person from KOA is you are going to tell them whether you want to buy an existing location or develop a location. They'll help you out with financing, but here's the tough thing about KOA. If you own a KOA, or if you're going to do a KOA, you're not going to be able to wholesale it. Every other type of deal, all of the other properties lists that I gave you, you'll be able to wholesale those. Deal find, set appointments, etc. KOAs, guys, they're going to weed out the wholesalers so fast. They know the game. So if you're trying to buy, I would find KOA or Jellystone. Those are the two most trusted brands in RV parks. KOA or Jellystone franchises. If you're like, I just want to cut to the chase, write a check, buy an RV park right now. They do all the marketing for you. They do most of the operations for you. A lot of my students in our business buying portion of the community are buying KOA locations and franchises and or developing new ones and opening up new franchise territories with KOA. So you can own a KOA.com, either A, buy an existing from somebody who's selling it, another KOA franchise, or B, you can go and buy one, open up a franchise. They'll help you develop, build it up. They're incredible. I want to buy one, but I want to buy a big KOA not this year, next year. The downfall to a KOA franchise is that you have rules, regulations. As an entrepreneur, that's hard for us. They also take 10% for marketing and management of your top line revenue, not your net profit. And so if your business is doing, I don't know, $1 million a year, they're going to take $100,000 royalty. That's a lot. If your business is doing $2 million a year, they're going to take $200,000 a year in royalties. That's a lot. And so you have to make that determination of whether you want to go that route or not. Okay. So that is number 9 and number 10, technically, KOA and Jellystone. Now, where are most of the opportunities going to be? This is where challenging times are ahead. Check this out. Where is the biggest challenging part of all of these lists? Is going to be by far number 1, right? The list that I give you on Thursday, that big list that I give you is going to be 5,000 RV parks. You will not find 5,000 RV parks between every one of those lists. You simply won't. It doesn't exist. You're not going to find it. There are currently 18,000 RV parks, so there's more than enough for everybody that I know to own 1, 2, or whatever. However, when I give this free list out on Thursday, you're going to ask the question like, what do I say? What do I do? How do I determine if it's a good deal? How do I manage that list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So most people will go to the easy list or the easy button, which is usually going to be creativelisting.com. They're going to buy a deal from one of my students. You're going to go to Crexy.com, work with brokers. But this is a skill that will make you the most amount of money, is understanding how to reach out, communicate with these RV park owners in an abundant way. Okay. Now, how do I determine what I want to do? Okay. So depending on who you are and where you're at in your business, we're going to go deep into this a lot more tomorrow and the next couple of days, is where do I start? Okay, where do I start? Most common question. How many people are like, where do I start? Where do I start? Give me a yes if this is you right now. Where do I start? Okay, heavy emphasis on this tomorrow. Same Zoom link tomorrow, same training. Has today been amazing? Have you guys learned a lot today? Okay, cool. If you are going to be a deal finder, let me give you the next couple of things you need to start on. Just like going to a job site, let's imagine I'm going to go take a construction job and I'm going to go work as a framer on a construction site. Should I show up empty-handed? No. You're going to want to get a hammer. You're going to want to get boots. You're going to want to get protective clothing, right? You're going to want to get some gloves. You want to get maybe a drill. You probably don't need a drill to start on a job site. A hammer, boots, clothes that are protective, etc. And you're going to need some basics. Okay, so in order for you to start on finding deals for other people, so we're going to talk specifically for the next couple of minutes on deal finders. The most important thing that you are going to need as a finder is you are going to need a legitimate buyer. Otherwise, you're going to stumble and you're going to continue to stay on YouTube for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you're going to have a really hard time. Your buyer who's actively buying RV parks will bring all of those skills to the table that you do not have, that you lack. Do we agree that if you had a buyer that was a legitimate buyer, it would basically take all of the fear of you going out and calling brokers, sellers, et cetera? All of that fear goes away if you had a legitimate buyer that knew you by name, would pick up your phone, answer your text messages, et cetera. Give me a yes if that would actually alleviate a lot of that pain. Okay, cool. So we agree when we are wanting to start as a deal finder, the thing you don't really need from me is you really don't need that list of 5,000 RV parks. That would actually be the second thing you need. Okay, so you're going to want a buyer. Actually, that's the third thing. I'm sorry. First thing is you're going to want the buyer. Okay, I will show you guys on Thursday how to find a buyer, pull a list. I will show that to you on Thursday. Can I get a yes that everybody's on the same page of when I will show you when to find a buyer? Heck, I'll even pull a list of random buyers for you and you guys can cold call them and try and work something out with them. That's what you want to do. Okay. Awesome. Number two, the number two thing you're going to want to do is, as a finder, you are going to want to make sure, I'm sorry for all the colors. I'm just having fun with my iPad. I haven't been at this desk in like 5 months, so having a lot of fun with it. Okay. Number one is I want my buyer. Number two, I want to know specifically my buyer's buy box. What will my buyer actually buy? So for example, I'm not going to buy a park that's under, at this point, we are looking at 100+ sites. I want larger parks. What I was looking at a couple of years ago is, heck, I would have done something that was 30 sites, but now I've outgrown that because I've grown my team and I can handle a larger site. So if I'm your buyer and we are communicating on a daily basis, and this is how that relationship would work, is here I am the buyer. Here you are the person that's setting appointments for me. You are the newbie. What's going to happen is you are going to reach out to sellers or brokers directly saying, hey, I work for an RV park buyer. I have a couple of questions for you about the park that you own, da, 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 da. When this person asks you a question back, wouldn't it be great if you could literally just go to your buyer and go, hey, they asked me a question I don't know the answer to. Can you help me out? And know that that person is going to send you a voice memo, a text message, an email, or some sort of meaningful reply. Can we get a yes that that would mean the world to you? Okay, I'm showing you how to get started instead of just being a knucklehead and staying on YouTube for the next 10 years and doing nothing with your life. Okay, it needs to be interactive. It's not some buyer that's bothered by you. Okay. Somebody says I have to jump off at 5. No problem, Cindy. We're ending in 4 minutes. I stay on time. I start on time. Tomorrow I will start immediately. Do not worry. I'm leaving here in 4 minutes myself. I'm just giving people where to start as I promised. Okay, cool. So you need to understand that you need to have a legitimate buyer, not somebody that says, I want to buy. You need somebody who actually owns RV parks. Why? Because when you talk to these brokers, the broker will ask you, especially when you ask for creative finance, they are going to ask you, what parks do you own? Where are they? What's the address? What's the name? Every time I've talked to a seller and a broker, they will ask me that question. Can you please show me your credibility? Can you please show me what you're talking about? If you are a new person working with somebody who wants to be a buyer, does that solve your problem? Yes or no? Somebody who wants to be a buyer. Does that solve your problem? Yes or no? And so you'll see people go, I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer. Okay. What's the address of your RV park? What is the amount of time for you to be an owner of that park? Could you have profit and loss? Do you have proof that you've owned that thing for a significant amount of time? Okay. Eddie Cruz comes in here and promotes his stuff in here. Eddie, you showed up late. You missed that freaking thing. CGL says 2-minute warning. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. So do we want, okay. Yes. Schedule of real estate owned. SREO, not SREA, SERO. Yes. Okay, cool. So the reality is I want to find people who actually own RV parks, not people that want to buy RV parks. So when we talk about where do I start, I just told you, if you are a finder, you need to find a buyer who owns parks. Then next thing you need to know is have a conversation with that buyer and say, what is your current buy box? Because I'm going to take the 5,000 list that Pace Morby just gave me, which is number 3. You need a list of RV parks. And I'm going to start reaching out to them and I'm going to start setting appointments for you to chat with them. But I don't want to call parks that don't fit your criteria: state, location, size, type of RV park, etc. By the way, we will talk about this tomorrow, the difference between RV parks, trailer parks, not the same thing, mobile home parks, okay, RV resorts. We will talk about the difference between these. These are not the same. Not even remotely the same. Trailer parks and mobile home parks are more similar. RV resorts are different as well. I'd say these are very similar. These are very similar, but they're all very different. Okay. We'll talk about them more tomorrow. But the 5,000 lists that I give you, you want to be setting appointments based on what this buyer is actively buying so that you can have actual meaningful value to provide to that buyer. Instead of going, like I had somebody the other day, I wish I was joking, but they sent me a horse farm in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, so you could buy this horse farm for $42 million. They're willing to do seller finance. I'm like, what part about me says that I'm interested in a horse farm in Nashville, Tennessee? Right? So what ends up happening is when you're new, you don't connect with your buyers well enough. And so you get discouraged and you stop working. You're one deal away from getting a $50,000 check. You're 2 deals away from buying your own. You're 3 deals away from quitting your job altogether. You're 4 deals from being wealthy. And so that first step, which is where do I start if I'm a finder, get a buyer, which I'll talk about on Thursday. I'll give you a list of buyers on Thursday as well. All right. As promised, I start on time, I end on time, and I do everything I say I'm going to do. Did everybody get a lot of value today on day number 1 of the RV park warm up? Now, tomorrow, we will start at the same time. Same link, same time. Same link, same time. Same link, same time. We will send out a replay of Sunday's replay, today's replay, etc. Tomorrow will be 3 hours, not 2. How many hours is tomorrow, everybody? 3 hours. Why? Because I want to do an hour of Q&A. All right. So come with your questions. We'll do 3 hours, 2 hours of training, 1 hour of Q&A. We'll do the same thing on Wednesday, and Thursday we might go like 4 hours. I might do like 2 hours of Q&A to wrap up the week. And I hope that you guys got a lot of value today. I love teaching. I have found that the more I teach, the more I buy. I currently have 7 RV parks under contract. 4 of them are from students that have been in my community less than 6 months. And I'm buying, I think, combined about $20 million in RV parks just with brand new students. Forget about the 99% of deals that they do amongst themselves. I've bought $20 million in real estate just in the last 60 days from people that have been in the community less than 6 months. So I love teaching so that I can continue to buy deals with you and partner with you guys. That is my objective. And thank you, Carly. Thank you, Nisha, for helping today. We will see you guys tomorrow on day number 2. We will send out the replay information. And day 2, we will start giving out gifts. Here's the tough thing, guys. People will ask me all the time, hey, I wasn't able to show up on day 2, day 3, and day 4. Can I have all of those gifts that you give away? No. Like, I'm going to give them to people that show up. I'm going to reward the people that show up. So if you guys show up, hang out with me, we will give you guys those rewards.